Okay, Chris, go ahead.
Sorry, I had to turn my mic on. I prepared a statement for tonight as well. I didn't respond last week because it had been said in the planning meeting that we were going to not address the issue for now, and certainly last Tuesday's meeting didn't exactly rise to that bar. This was addressed by 3 council members, so I wrote my own statement as well. The first paragraph might be the most important. Please bear with me and listen to the entirety of my comments before turning me off. I'm bound to touch on uncomfortable issues in every other paragraph. And it's entirely possible that nobody is going to be happy with my statement when I reach the end, but I sincerely hope that's not the case. Last week, several council members spoke up about an issue that came up recently. What that issue is might depend on your perspective. Factually, what happened is this. The mayor asked for a state auditor's office to look into email activity with the city, and more specifically, Bill's activity and use of city email and property. The mayor had been asked by a resident to find out if this activity was appropriate and legal. Those are the facts. Almost everything else you hear is either speculation or represents a core issue that divides us as a community. I'll start with a brief opinion, after which I'll go into some detail everybody in this community should know. I was not supportive of involving the state auditor in the matter of Bill's email activity. I was also not supportive of Bill's activity. And some members of staff are not entirely innocent based on what I've read either. I was called out on social media to offer my position on the entire topic, to which I responded that I'm Switzerland. I don't like being a referee, and I'm not a politician. I remain very unhappy that I'm in the position of discussing issues like this rather than working on those things that benefit the community in which I was raised. Nonetheless, here I am, and so I'll let you know what a couple of my experiences have been since I took a position on this council. The city employs 2 lawyers working on general issues, advice, and litigation with whom I'm familiar. The first is Matt Vasana. He's our city solicitor and reports to our city manager. In my experience, Matt has been outstanding. He is highly responsive, and he's earned my personal respect. The second is an outside attorney who is supposed to work for city council on some matters and the city manager on others, such as defense of the city in legal cases our solicitor is not able to handle internally. But when a topic comes up that might point a negative finger at the city, council has been advised that we can use this independent attorney to gain legal advice outside of the city structure. Twice, I've been asked by residents who are not politically active people about issues that might not look favorable on the city. Out of respect for Matt and not wanting to place him between his manager and a member of council, I reached out to our outside legal advisor. I never received an acknowledgement or response to either of my questions, at least not directly. I did, however, receive a manner of response which came back to me through the city in close enough proximity to when the question was asked to assume that that was my answer. In both cases, the responses sounded a lot like, "How dare you even ask?" And then I thought about a legal opinion regarding Caitlin Rogner's ability to apply for the at-large position on council. Caitlin's young. She was only 16 at the time, and Bill asked for a legal opinion on her eligibility to hold the office. A lengthy, several-page response was received by all of council within a couple days. It became clear to me at that point that if you asked a question and certain people within the city structure didn't like it, you won't get an answer. So I retained my own municipal lawyer. I, for all intents and purposes, a volunteer on city council, hired a lawyer for independent legal review of matters I was expected the city would refuse to weigh in on. I've already spent the next 3 years of my city council salary asking for legal opinions. What were those horrible opinions? I asked if our city manager could legally, under her own authority, cancel all activities on city property through the end of August back in April. The answer was likely yes, she could, and probably could not cancel all activities throughout the it would have a state of emergency like we're on. But a lawyer, you need to $1,800 answer. So when you ask why the mayor would ask the state auditor to weigh in on an issue, you should also understand that not everybody will choose to spend thousands of dollars of personal income on lawyers when a resident asks an uncomfortable question. I've read the body of Bill's email in question, and there is a blend of pro phase 2 and political action regarding the election this past November. They're not nice. They highlight an issue that I believe supersedes all other discussion items. Term limits. The late Robin Williams provided great insight into a deeply rooted political and human issue. Politicians are like diapers. They should be changed frequently and for the same reason. It seems to me that when somebody has been in office too long, they start to believe the office is about them and their view and lose sight that it's about the voice of the people. But why are we talking about any of this at all? Because city staff and some members of council working with a political action committee spent taxpayer money to promote an agenda they wanted to move forward. That's not nice, but it's not illegal. Then the mayor reacted to a resident request by asking the auditor to weigh in on the issue. Then the political forces on and off social media dug their trenches. I don't agree with the mayor's decision to involve the auditor, but that doesn't mean the content of the email is morally sound. In my opinion, it's far from it. You should read it. There was a recent records request for documents between Bill, a leader of the pro Phase 2 PAC, and a young lady running for the at-large position on council this November that resulted in 4,479 pages of documents. Really, that's absurd. I cannot imagine what our council meetings will be like with that addition. Bill's done a lot for the city. Whether I agree with him on issues or not, serving on council takes a lot of time and effort. Most of that time has nothing to do with political motives. Working with Hudson Community Foundation is something I'm personally thankful for. And the mayor has done a great deal for his church and the community as well. And likewise, we have members of city staff working hard for Hudson who played no part in this and come to work every day for our benefit alone. Matt Vasana, Elizabeth Slagle, Tom Sheridan, Brad Costco, Jeff Knobloch, Rhonda Kadish, Frank Camarado, among many others, you have my absolute respect. I will leave you with a thought. I've been attending Rotary meetings recently, and there is a four-way test that's recited at the beginning of each meeting. It goes like this. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? It's something to think about, and maybe that's my call for civility. Don't ask me to weigh in on matters like this again. I'm trying to move forward issues that were important to me and the Hudson residents when I was elected to this position. So let me do what they've asked.